afford the best defence lawyers money could buy, and they seemed to be running rings around the hapless Piranha Task Force, which Victoria Police had established to bring an end to the public slaughter. Nothing really for Carl to fear. And if he did, he could usually quell the feeling with cocaine, which he was habitually taking in his last years on the outside. At 7:30 a.m, the police arrived at Carl's mum's place. Barb hadn't seen her son yet that morning, but she was planning to spoil him with his favourite breakfast: eggs, baked beans and chips. She hoped the smell might waft into his bedroom and rouse him. Instead, the police hauled him from his bed. Carl was arrested and subsequently charged with ordering the murder of Michael Marshall, a hot dog stand owner and ecstasy runner who had been killed by two of Carl's hired hands. Unfortunately for them, their van had been bugged, and the police had in their possession some pretty incriminating tapes of discussions between the killers and their paymaster, Carl, not to mention audio of the killings as it took place. Carl spent his time awaiting trial in the Melaleuca and Acacia units of Her Majesty's Prison Barwon, which is situated just outside of the town of Lara, near Geelong. At first, he was blithely confident of a good result, freedom even. In a note he sent to journalist Adam Shand in July 2004, he wrote cheerily, "Hello, Adam. Well, it was good to hear from you, as it always is. As for me, I'm back here at Hotel Acacia, just taking a break for a while. Everything's good, no problems." But Carl was on a 23-hour lockdown in a cell that measured 4 by 3 metres, and the Hotel Acacia knew very well how to play with the minds of its guests. As a small example, prisoners were allowed access to both newspapers and TV, but experience had shown that this only increased their sense of isolation. "It's Hannibal Lecter stuff, mate," was crime lord Mick Gatto's considered verdict after his release. A jail inside a jail. The hotel had on its guest list a who's who of the Gangland War. Apart from Gatto, a sworn enemy of Carl, who always referred to him as the Don, there was Evangelos Ange Goussis, who had killed Lewis Moran among others, and Carl's cousin Michael Thornycroft, one of 3 accused of planning to kill Mario Condello, acting head of the Carlton crew while Mick Gatto was serving time, and the first to crack under police pressure, testifying to the cops that Carl had confided to him he'd killed 7 of his rivals. Flushed with this success, Piranha Task Force collaborated with jail authorities to make life as difficult as possible for these gangland inmates. This included carefully vetting placements inside Barwon, limiting visits and even human contact. They were fed disinformation about what their mates were saying about them and what their wives and girlfriends were doing on the outside. At the same time, they were offered a way out by informing on their former associates, including Carl. It would prove the most successful tactic in achieving convictions from the Gangland War, probably the only one that actually worked. The modus operandi of the Piranha Task Force, in collaboration with Corrections Victoria, was to move already turned informers out of the mainstream prison population and into the various management units such as Acacia. This was done by removing informers who may have initially been placed in Barwon's mainstream population by way of subterfuge. The process would begin with a code aqua siren sounding, signifying a return of all inmates to their cells. Then the Special Emergency Security Group would conduct a search of a tier of the particular unit that housed the informer. A rumour would be planted that contraband had been located in his cell, and the inmate would be moved to a management unit. This operation would provide suitable cover for the informer to be moved into the unit targeted by the task force without arousing questions from other prisoners. Sometimes official paperwork, such as a police statement signed by the inmate, was received surreptitiously in the prison, revealing an inmate to be an informer. In the prison, this is called a professional bail, referring to bailing out.